Welcome to Speakeasily versus the 80s. Hey, Creepazoids. Thanks for joining us on our intergalactic audio journey into the vast universe of 1980s trash cinema. It's our collective nostalgic midlife crisis writ large in the stars. We may be a small podcast, but our teeth are sharp and our pelts are furry. And we will always roll with the punches. I'm Odessa Lil, your guide through the schlock void. I'm beaming into your ear holes from the official Speakeasily space ark, which is hovering in an undisclosed location somewhere above the central galaxy. With me, as always, are my comedy life partners and voracious marmots, Klingon Vanna White and Shecky Davis Jr.
Lol.
Greetings and salutations.
It's funny that you said marmots.
Why is that?
Oh no, because marmots are crazy. I went on a trip, right? And so I'm out in the
You took LSD without me?
No, not that kind of trip, although it should have been.
Okay.
So I'm out in like Northern California, and I'm like, awesome, I'm gonna go out. And then I'm driving, and I wanted to be out in the stars. I'm driving, and so I get to this place where there's a campsite, and I get to the campsite, and there's all these cars that are covered with tarps and stuff. And I'm like, why are there people with the tarps? And so I asked these nice white people, because it was all white people, and I said, hey, what's with
white people?
White people, hey, white people, what's with the tarps over your cars? And they said, it's marmot season. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, the marmots, they get into your cars, and the marmots are salt starved. And so they will attack people, and they will try to lick you to death for your salt. And I was like, wait, what? And they're like,
Wow.
yes.
Sounds like my fantasy.
So,
You want to be licked to death by marmots.
I have to look up what a marmot looks like.
it's like a rodent, just a giant rodent. But
What country was this in?
No, this is in the USA.
No.
Yeah. I was like up north, and I'm like, what the hell is this with the marmots and the salt and the?
They should have just put out like some pretzels for the marmot.
Something.
You know?
And then they're worried that they get into their cars and they eat their electrical systems, and they try to lick their. Yeah, it's like a big deal. Like it's
Bring
a big
salt
deal.
block.
Yeah, or something. But I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. So,
Oh yeah, that's terrifying. I wouldn't want one of those things licking me.
yeah. So it's just funny that you said that, and then the movie we're reviewing just kind of made that all come back, you know? So,
Oh yeah.
These things look like you could get the Black Plague from them.
they're kind of cute.
Cute.
Yeah, but they definitely look like plague-bearing marmots.
She's like, no, I don't think so. No.
Well, I have just some quick show business to take care of right here.
Boss.
Hey, listeners, if you dig what we're throwing down here about marmots on this trash cast, please subscribe and leave a review. We might even read it on the show. Tell friends about us. Send that link. Run naked in the street screaming our praises. Help us, help you, help us.
Yes. Become a marmot.
Be our marmot nation.
Marmot Nation.
Lick us to death.
Yes. We're very salty.
And by the way, we're on Facebook, Speakeasily Show, and you can join our special people's group on there and talk about marmots all day long.
Yeah, I was expecting a marmoset, so I was thinking something more cute.
No.
These look like a cross between a beaver and a squirrel and a rat.
Yep. Their closest relatives are rats.
Now we know. If we haven't,
oh my God, I'm right. Teenage boy dies of bubonic plague in Mongolia after eating a marmot.
Planet Marmot, I'm telling you. He just got back from Planet Marmot, and that's what happened. Sorry, guy.
Wow. Well, if we haven't scared her away yet, let's talk about today's guest. Today's guest is our favorite returning guest, comics industry maven, professional nerd, and furball expert, Jann Jones. Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
So to speak of marmots and to go off of Shecky's notes, back in like the 60s, there are these things called nutria, and they live in the New Orleans, Louisiana swamps, and the numbers were getting out of hand. So they were trying to convince the locals that they should eat the nutria. And there are signs that say they're nutrialicious.
Oh,
I'm telling you, this is the future.
I think I've seen nutria fur coats.
yeah, a lot of coats from that time. Totally. Do you think it tasted like chicken?
Probably.
No, honestly, things that live in the swamp tend to taste a bit like things that live in the swamp. It's
Earthy.
Oh,
it's a bit gamey.
Klingon tastes like chicken.
Did you eat it? Did you try it?
I have not, but I have eaten alligator because I am from Florida, and I went to a restaurant in Florida, and they had like a swamp critters appetizer plate that had
Love it.
alligator and turtle and frog, and it was like, it was.
Oh, I wouldn't have turtle.
no way.
Yeah,
Or frog.
I'd have it all.
I've eaten frog legs and I've eaten
Get in my belly.
alligator. They're not. Those aren't endangered, but turtles, I don't know.
Get in my belly.
No, and then I did when I was in Costa
Depends on the
Rica.
turtle.
I did have iguana.
Dude, what did that
Girls.
taste like?
It was like chicken, but very bony.
Ugh.
So kind of like a eel bones with chicken.
Yeah, think of like swampy chicken crossed
Swampy
with
chicken.
eel.
Dude, why bother you guys?
Because
know,
it's awesome.
Vegan
Because-
Nana would not approve.
I think turtles are even cooler because they provide their own plate.
Oh no! Turtle bowl.
There you go. Love it.
Oh. Well, thank you for having me back. I am always honored to be here. I've been requesting to come back just so I can talk about this movie because it's just something else.
Yeah, star-studded cast.
That's right. What are we talking about? We're talking about Critters 2. You chose Critters
Yes.
2.
I did. And there is a lot of people would say, you know what, guys, you should start at Critters 1. But
No.
honestly, Critters 2 is the superior Critters movie, much like Ghoulies. Ghoulies 2, greater than the original Ghoulies. I'll go
Yes.
there.
No, oh yeah, I agree with you on that.
100%.
They're both. I like both Ghoulies, but yeah, with this movie and also Ghoulies, they figured it out. Like, oh, we got to hit the comedy a little bit more.
Yeah.
Gremlins 2 as well.
Well, there's a hierarchy of these, and every Gremlins is the pinnacle, and I would say some people would put Ghoulies ahead of Critters, but I think Critters ranks above Ghoulies. Even we remember Ghoulies because of the toilet monster, the toilet
yeah.
ghoulie.
Yeah.
And then you go to some things like Munchies, and which was Munchie, which is I think a sequel of Munchies, was filmed in my neighborhood. It's hilarious.
Not
And
surprised.
then you go to something like Hobgoblin, which is just
Yeah, it's pretty trashy.
Hobgoblin had really good music, and there was a club, and I was like, I kind of want to go there. It looks like where we met.
Where did we meet?
At the club for Munchies.
Yes, no. So I met Odessa at the Elbow Room in San Francisco.
Oh, Elbow Room, of course.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, Odessa was emceeing one of my very early shows from my burlesque days, and I looked at you and I thought you were stunning, and everyone was terrified of you.
That's how I like it.
Yeah. I remember when I first asked you to do the Owl show, I was like, she's never going to say yes. Like, there's just no way. She's just too cool. And then I found out celebrities, they're just like us.
That's true. I am just like you. No, come on. I'm a big nerd. I am like so.
Yeah, but
Weird Al was my dream.
But you're super foxy, and you have like a cool job, and you have this amazing stage presence. And I was terrified of you. I was legit terrified. I think Marla and Pearlie and I all were like, "Oh, it's Odessa,"
because I carried a whip.
Yeah,
right. And
she
the
beats
iPad.
me.
Yes.
She beats me when no one's looking.
You know that Maplethorpe
when you're
exhibit?
bad.
She
Yes.
inspired me
Yeah, Shecky and I reenact that all the time.
all the time. It's our Christmas cards.
Well, thank you, Jan. When I saw you as Pickles Kintaro, I was like, she's going places. Like I could tell that you're
And you were walking to the bathroom, right?
yeah.
I went straight from the beer closet dressing room to the green room dressing room. It was a meteoric rise.
Surprised we all didn't get staff from each other because we were all like so smushed together in that fucking
Oh my
closet
God.
getting dressed, and we're all sweaty.
No, it was like
Don't
I'm
you
here.
miss it?
You know, there's definitely times when I was like, I still wish I was taking off my clothes for tens of dollars to complete strangers.
Right.
You know, and I think that there's a farewell tour for me somewhere. I haven't hung up my G-string yet. And yeah, I miss the camaraderie. I miss the people. I miss, there's a lot about it I miss. And the further away you get from it, the more you miss it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I miss it.
Yeah. Klingon.
But I wasn't doing something as fun as you guys with each other.
Klingon, you were one of the trailblazers.
Yeah,
and
the Indra is a legend and has
exactly. So
been burlesquing forever.
I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, all these people clamoring for attention. But you guys did something so off, like brand of like regular burlesque, that it's just basically super fun and don't have all these like narcissists in it.
Yeah, nerdlesque is where it's at, man. Like
we dared to be stupid.
We certainly did.
Wasn't it a prerequisite?
We're of course talking about our Weird Al burlesque troupe, Tight and Nerdy. I think we're on Facebook too. You can look that up too. You like Weird Al? You like naked chicks? Come on.
You like lunch and meat?
Isn't it certified fresh by Al himself?
He knows about us, and he hasn't sent us a restraining order.
Yeah,
that is love.
Yeah,
it is. And I ran into him one day in Burbank, and I saw him, and I was like, "Hi!" And he looked at me, and I was like, "I'm the Weird Al stripper," and he goes, "Pickles!" And he gave me a giant.
Oh my god! Oh my god! How fucking awesome!
That's the best.
The Weird Al stripper.
When I met him, thanks to Klingon, actually, because I used your 501st pass to get into his show.
That was fun. And I didn't get banned from the 501st, which is totally funny.
They probably thought it was you. We're like the same height.
I know, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Isn't it ridiculous? Like how often we get confused, even though we have the same different color hair. I think it's, I don't know.
It's true, but we both have like similar names, and we're Jewy, I guess.
Similar bodies, similar
vaginas. Yeah,
that is yet to be proven. We're gonna take a hold later.
There you go.
But yeah, when I met him, I was like, "I'm in your burlesque troupe," and he looked a little confused.
A little confused, a little aroused, a little concerned.
Concerned emotions.
It's great. A lot of us have, a lot of people who have performed with us have met him, and they're all like, "Weird Al strippers," and he knows exactly what that means.
Yeah, he can't get away from us now.
That's so funny.
But why would he, though?
I mean, it's so wonderful. I mean, it's so weird, and it's just so like Christ. It's just so good.
It makes me happy.
Are you ready to have a ball with this movie that truly goes to 11? Cashing in on the Gremlins creature feature craze, Mick Garris's 1988 follow-up to Critters. Critters 2 is truly a peak 80s trash experience with its ferocious man-eating furballs, intergalactic bounty hunters, a Crite-killing centerfold, Eddie DEEZEN, and of course, the star of the movie, a mega Critters ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is included on Roger Ebert's most hated list. So you know it's gold. You know, when Ebert hates it. Yeah, Ebert hates it.
He liked the first one.
Yeah, he said it was. He didn't. He's like, this is so unnecessary. It's just like he was just like, no, why? There's no reason for this to be here. And I was like, shut up, Robert.
I know Roger. He doesn't know what I like.
Jann, I just called you Pickles.
You can call me either. I'll answer.
So hey, you. Why like Critters 2 and not Critters 1?
Critters 2, I mean, you can really see the hand of Mick Garris in there, and the sense of humor, and just the ridiculous critters, balls to the wall, like bonkersness of it all. It is, I mean, it starts, you have everything in there. You've got like a crazy grandmother, you've got like an awkward a forced romance, you have the Hungry Heifer, you have there is just so much to this movie. It just starts and it never lets up, and it's a beautiful thing. You know, Critters 1 is family trapped in a farmhouse dealing with critters, and Critters 2 is they're back, and they're not content with just the farmhouse. They're gonna mess things up.
They're going to take over the world.
But that's what I liked about it. It's like Critters was like, no, farmhouse, small budget, never. We're back. It's number 2. 2 is greater than 1. You know, it's math. It's math. You know, expand it out. No more just taking over the town. You know, no, taking over this little house and this. No, we're taking over the town. Everybody.
Yeah, it's really something. and this is actually
it certainly is.
So it certainly is. This is Mick Garris's directorial debut. He had written for Amazing Stories. Do you guys remember that show?
Yeah,
loved it.
Yes,
loved it.
And he's since written just a shit ton for movies. You know, horror. He's written a lot of horror, but his instincts here are just so good, so funny. He didn't write the script, but he did like spice it up with more humor.
So the voice of the critters for a lot of the time. So if you hear the critters say things, it's probably Mick Garris.
Oh, funny.
Oh no.
Yeah, so the guy who wrote it, David Thwathy, he wrote Waterworld.
Oh God.
He wrote G.I. Jane, and he wrote all of the Chronicles of Riddick films. So we're dealing with those. Yeah, we're dealing with like an accomplished writer here. So no shade or no tea or shade, but
that noise you just
I
made.
Actually the Riddick ones are like kind of like my guilty pleasure.
See, and they have weird aliens in it too.
Well, a lot of the cast returned from Critters 1, which makes it's like you don't have to have seen Critters 1 to enjoy Critters 2.
No,
you're not going to be like totally lost or something like.
Yeah, I've never seen any of it. In fact, I was looking for the wrong movie at first.
Oh,
I was just like, I heard you say creatures.
Uh-oh.
And I was just like, yeah.
She was hoping it wasn't Critters 2. She was like, please don't be Critters 2.
I forgot. I've never even heard of the series actually, which is, you know, like it was a time of the 80s when I just didn't watch TV or go to movies a lot.
Yeah, she doesn't even know what Small Wonder is.
Oh my God.
So so I was just like, what in the David Attenborough shit is this? This can't be what she watched, you know. And then it was just like, oh, Critters.
Yeah.
Oh.
So a lot of the characters are returning from Critters 1. We start off with our bounty hunters, Ugg and Lee. Anyone?
I thought one was Charlie.
Charlie was the protege.
Yeah, he's like their huge. Okay, so here's where you
he's a human protege, right?
Oh yeah, the guy with the white face that turned into the lady.
No. That's Lee.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ugg is the one that looks like an 80s rock star.
Yeah, the long black hair.
Yeah, because
Hot. I thought it was
He's
kind of
like-
hot.
It's kind of like an American Tim Curry.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's where Critters 1 would help you out here, seeing that because he comes to Earth, Ugg comes to Earth, and he sees like a music video, and he just takes on that guy's face.
Oh.
Yeah, and Lee has trouble. Lee like can't really keep a face on for long.
Yeah.
He can't really like grasp. What how do they say it, Pickles? That it's like he can't connect or something.
Yeah, they're shapeshifters. We find out that they don't have mouths and they don't need to breathe and all of this funny stuff. But
Yeah, it's like a blob of wax for a head.
Yeah, exactly. He's like his head is like silly putty, and it imprints, what it sees. So if he looks at you too long, he's going to take your face. You'll still have your face, but he will also have it.
Thank you. That was concise and perfect. Yeah. So in Critters 1, they pick up a human, Charlie, who's kind of like the town drunk, and he's a nice guy, but he's kind of a loser, and he decides he wants to go to outer space with them. So that's why he's with them. The goofy dude named Charlie.
Okay.
Played by Don Keith Oper, who's like such a character actor.
Yeah.
Just look at that face.
Yeah, he's been in all of them. He's like the one stable thing besides the Critters.
Even going forward, like Critters 3, etc.
Yep, he was in all of them.
Oh,
I think it helps that his brother like wrote the movies.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I want nepotism to work out for me at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had some relatives in Hollywood. So we start off with them, and they find out that once again, just like Critters 1, there's critters loose on Earth, and they have to go back and kill the motherfuckers.
Gotta finish the job.
Yeah. So that's why they head back to Earth. And this is one of my favorite gags in a movie full of gags. But Lee is still a glob of wax. He needs to take on an image, and he finds like a porno mag on the side of the street. And just sort of like becomes the centerfold.
Yep.
Didn't it seem like he was trying to make him turn into the guy from the human guy at first? Like he was like, and then the human guy picked up the centerfold and just threw it up, or was that?
Yeah, you're right. I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, it was like to block his view of his face.
Because he didn't want him to be him too, because that would just be too weird.
2 hymns.
But yeah, just
we do end up with 2 hymns at the end of the movie.
Oh.
But we'll get there.
No, that centerfold was Roxanne, who played that character, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
It was Roxanne Cornahan, and she was Neva in a Playboy magazine, though she did appear in the video Playboy Sexy Lingerie a year later. The centerfold for that issue was Denise McConnell.
Ah,
Okay.
It's McConnell's sister?
That would be hilarious if it was, but
wouldn't
no.
it? I wish.
See, nepotism.
Yeah, nepotism in Hollywood. Hey, you want to be in the skin flick? Sure.
Well, she's amazing, Roxanne Kernahan. Unfortunately, she died in a car accident a few years afterwards, so she's no longer with us. But I thought she was brave and funny. Like, apparently it was really cold when they shot this.
Oh, God.
They were in Santa Clarita shooting this. That's where like everything is set up, even their little shitty town.
Damn, poor woman.
And yeah, so it was freezing cold, and she had to sort of like appear naked and walk around with her tits out. So here's to you, Roxanne.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And the way she just delivers the kill Crites line is just so good. She just leaves all of her ego and clothes at the door and just goes for it. And it's brilliant. But did you tell them about the sight gag, the best sight gag, Audra? Dessa?
No, you do it. You do it.
So So Lee becomes the centerfold, and they concentrate on it and they concentrate on it, and you just see boobs grow and like all of this stuff, and it pulls back. Lee has also replicated the staple in the center of the magazine and has to pull it out of their stomach.
A giant staple.
A giant staple, because they don't know that's not supposed to be there. And it's just you really know what you're in for when you see that staple come out.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good point. Yeah. We're on a wild ride here, comedy wise. It's going to be wacky. Also happening kind of at the same time, the kid from Critters, the first, Brad, he's now like, a teenager, and he returns to Grover's Bend. So we get the idea a lot happens between Critters 1 and Critters 2 that we don't know about. It's like the untold story. Like we need a Critters 1.5 because when what's that? Yeah.
So we're just gonna gloss over the fact that Brad is Scott Grimes' best friend is Seth MacFarlane. Come on, he's the voice of Steve on Family Guy, not Family Guy, American Dad. He's like one of my favorite voice actors, and I totally forgot that he was in this movie until I saw it again. I was like, wait, what?
Who's that kid? Who's that kid?
That is so funny because Steve looks like him.
Yeah. So it's just hilarious when like I realized that it was him, and I was like, oh my God. Funny fact, Scott Grimes actually put out an R&B album in like the late 90s, early 2000s. So yeah, he actually sings R&B, and he's actually a singer and has an album out, and it's hilarious.
It's called Grimes Against Humanity.
Ooh. 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 Ooh.
We got 10 points for Jann.
Yes. But yeah, I was totally like, what the hell are you doing in here? But it's like, whatever. A paycheck's a paycheck when you're a young actor. So
yeah, like some stuff. There's some stuff that must have happened between 1 and 2, because when we leave Critters 1, their farmhouse, or it's reconstituted magically, and they all go and live in it. Like they go, his family, his mom, dad, sister, and he all go into the house, and or at least they're outside the house. Their house comes back, and you get the idea that they're living there. Okay, Critters 2, his whole family's gone. Like they've moved to Kansas City or something. And so he returns to Grover's Bend, and it really seems like there's like major critter denial happening there. Like people are like, they don't like him because it reminds them of when the critters came the first time. He's kind of like a pariah there.
He is. Not only do the family is gone, they have outvoted the sheriff, who was involved in Critters 1. And the amazing Lynn Shay is back as the eagle-eyed reporter.
Lynn Shay is super cool.
Love Lynn Shay. I love that Lynn Shay looks better now, like 30 years later, than she did in these movies. It did not do her any favors with that makeup and wardrobe. Oh, she's lovely.
I don't know. She's cute in this movie. Like in the first one,
red hair. She's the one with the red. I love her.
She's very funny. Her. Yeah.
I love that particularly like 80s color of red hair that you just don't see anymore.
I love that, like in the 70s, 60s and 70s, there was like a shade of red that you see in a lot of Hammer movies. And then in the 80s, there's another shade that we just don't see anymore.
Yeah, it has that weird tone of magenta almost in it.
Hmm?
It like kind of looks magenta-y or whatever. It's definitely unnatural. But it's a really cool red-haired color. I actually had to try to see if I could find it.
She's got kind of a retro look, like she's doing a 50s, 40s thing, like maybe she's just really into old movies. In the first one, when she's actually like the dispatcher over at the police station. So she's a helper to Harv, the sheriff. But when in part 2, yeah, she's a reporter. She's still kind of wacky, still kind of retro. And yeah, Harv has been relegated to living in a trailer at the edge of town. He's disgraced.
Hard times.
Hard times. That's the one actor that didn't make it through. Like, okay, it was Emmett Walsh in Critters 1, and Critters 2, it's Barry Corbin. And apparently it's like Emmett Walsh was just too much of a handful. Like they could not work with him again. I don't know the details, but that's what I've read Mick Garris say about that.
Well, when you have to build a critter ball, got a lot on your plate.
Yeah, they didn't have time for bullshit at all.
That's true.
Okay, so we find out it's Easter, and the current sheriff is dressed like an Easter bunny. And he's
Such an
horrified.
awesome scene.
Oh yeah.
That's later.
Okay.
He's horrifyingly killed by critters.
No, I just love the conceit of like putting. Okay, so like there's these eggs that are found in this barn, and I don't know how they were there, but I'm assuming it's probably something from the first Critter movie.
They
But,
left him. Yeah.
Yeah, where like they just start trying to sell. What are we going to do with all these weird eggs? And that's how they get spread all over town.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that nobody asks like, why are these chicken eggs so weird?
Yeah, they just don't even question it.
It's like nobody ever is just like, these look weird. What's going on here? Where'd you get these? Instead it's just like, oh yeah, let's just paint these eggs that have like weird, a weird texture, like a reptilian texture in it, like of nothing we've ever seen before.
Yeah, like a dinosaur egg or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a great line. Like the antique store guy is trying, like he's being sold these eggs by whoever found them. I can't remember what that guy's name, but
It's like the crappy teenager.
yeah, okay. Crappy teenager wants to sell these eggs for beer, and the antique guy is like, these things ain't worth dick. So from the antique store, they spread around town, and mostly because of the elders of the town who are like painting eggs for the kids. And then we meet Nana, who
Nana and her Carib goodness.
Yeah, she's amazing. She has good style too.
Yeah.
That little satin like cowboyette outfit.
Yes.
So good.
It was all like quilted weird or something. I mean, it just like, yeah, it definitely looked, the one that she wore at the Easter egg hunt contest. Yeah. That I was just like, what?
I love it. Little vest.
Yeah. I'm here for this.
Yeah, she's way cool. She's vegan. She's really concerned that the kids should have healthy BMs. And but these eggs start to hatch and they look like Cadbury eggs. They're all oozy.
Oh yeah, like that one that Lal and Jonathan liked, and then I bit into one, and then it just like burst into my face. It came all over my face.
Yeah, you had Cadbury bukkake.
Yeah, I was just like, this
sounds yummy.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not down for this. Like when they wasn't that was another that was Gremlins or Trolls? Oh yeah,
I think it was Trolls.
It was
Troll 2.
So
Another second movie. We just skipped the first one.
Who needs?
Oh God, I love it.
We have a great Easter Bunny massacre thing happening where the critter balls are like actually jumping his pants.
Like these critters just kind of roll up, like literally roll up and just like start causing havoc. I love it. Like, have you noticed they're like frat boys?
Oh, man.
Like they're like tribbles, but they're not cool. Yeah,
Tribbles with teeth
and bad attitudes,
flesh eating. Yeah,
Love their bad attitudes. They kill me. They're just such dicks.
Yeah, they really are the worst.
It's funny. I love them.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
they're
love them too.
amazingly built, though.
Oh yeah.
That's where all the money went. That day was a $4 million budget, and that's where it all went. And
the spaceship.
And the spaceship and building the town, because there is no what's the town called?
Didn't they thank Grover's Bend at the end?
Yeah, but there is no.
That was bullshit?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I totally fell for it.
Yeah. Oh god, Grover's Bend.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think that's a reference to is it Grover's Mill in
War of the
Orson
Worlds.
Welles. Yeah,
Oh,
War
yeah.
of the World. Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. Thank you. Yeah. Grover's Lane. So it's kind of a reference to that.
Oh,
So they're
totally
being
over my
cute.
head. Way too deep cut for Klingon Vanna White here.
Same. I was like, what is she talking about?
Took me
Well,
a while,
I saw
sorry.
the thank you at the end, and then, it was just like, oh, I thought like, oh, there's a real, and I was just like, well, I don't have time to look it up. But I'll look it up later when we're done. And, but I was just like,
That sounds like work.
why would they lie to me? I believe it.
Damn.
Why would this work of fiction lie to me?
Because there are critters.
Yeah, critters are obviously real. Duh.
It was a documentary. So the critters were built and animatronically animated by these brothers, the Chiodo brothers, Charles and Edward, and they are fantastic.
We're clowns, yo.
They are, but I think they're called the Chiodo family now because they have other brothers and nephews and nieces that have joined the fray. Yeah, I looked them up because I was just because I didn't realize that they had a connection to Killer Clowns. So I was like, what?
Yeah, that was their first. Killer Clowns was their first. This is their second.
It's just so cool. Just think I just never thought about it, how all these people were, you hear about the greats, the what is it? The people who build, the aliens and the Terminators and was it wine? I can't remember his name.
Stan Winston.
Yeah, Stan Winston. And you're
Nicotera's.
and you're like, oh my God, there's all these fantastic people. And then there's always these Screaming Mad George and all these other people who just made these fantastic creature films. And yeah.
I love the critter designs. And one of the things we learn in Critters 1 is that they have porcupine-like quills that act as darts,
they shoot
tranquilizer
out.
darts.
Yeah.
And I just love the design. They're just like these little furry footballs of doom, and they have many, many rows of teeth. I'm kind of obsessed with them. I love the critter design so much. It is just a joy. And then you match it up with their little sassy badass attitudes, and you just have a perfect creature. None of them want to be good. None of them are they're just out for havoc and cheeseburgers.
Yeah, they're not redeemable in any way. They're just they're frat boys. That's what I'm telling you. They're unredeemable.
They're having a good time. There's a very Gremlins-esque scene where they take over the diner.
The Hungry Heifer.
Thank you, the Hungry Heifer. And that's actually where we meet Eddie DEEZEN.
Heifer.
Yeah, why is there they have a song that plays constantly in there? And Eddie DEEZEN works there, and I just want to say, if Eddie DEEZEN's in a movie, it has the Speakeasily seal of approval.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a sign of a good 80s movie. But it's very Gremlins-esque because they're wreaking havoc in there, and it's a ketchup and burgers are flying around, and it's just a big old mess, and they love it. They're having a good time.
That's what I love about it. It's just they're just party animals. They are the original party animals. It's like if Jim Belushi, was a critter, this would be him.
Oh yeah. I also love their piranha, overwhelming of their victims.
Yes.
They just leave a skeleton behind.
Well, yeah, sometimes. And then they, one of them is kind of annoying and will fuck you up. But the fact that 45 of them are on you will just murder you immediately.
Yeah, totally. And they just keep multiplying. There's just more of them, and then when they eat, they get bigger. Is that actually, Jan? Is that what happens? Because there's always like one big critter.
Yeah, different sizes.
Yeah.
There are different sizes of critters, but that Hungry Heifer scene is just so great, and it gets better because our bounty hunters show up.
Yes.
And it really hits the fan.
Who are you gonna call? Critter Busters. Which is a dumb line.
They come in and they just has anyone noticed how phallic their guns are when they just kind of like grow?
Yes.
Oh God, they just they extend and they get
Yeah.
they kick down the door and the critters look up and they're just like, fuck. And then they just start blasting critters. Like there is just critter carnage. And there's a critter in the fryer and they're just exploding. And then there is the classic, and it's my favorite little moment where a critter gets the top of his head blown off and it blows off his hair. He now like has this amazing bald spot, and he looks in the mirror and he goes, "Chin."
Yeah,
So
yeah, you gotta love the subtitles.
Oh my God! I think though there's a moment when they're rolling down and you hear them go like, "Go left," and you. It's just it's perfection.
And those scenes where it's like a whole herd of them. It's breathtaking.
It's so great. And what I love is because the critters start attacking. I mean, now once we get through the Hungry Heifer, we know these critters are out for blood and burgers. And
They're just hungry.
So we have a problem on our hands.
Yes.
So critters don't run. They roll. So all I can think of is off scene of just like the Chiodos just like rolling like bowling balls, these critters like across the town. And it's amazing. They just like roll and they're hauling ass across town and wreaking havoc. And eventually it leads to everyone getting sequestered in the church.
That's right. I think a lot of fishing wire was used to get those guys around, little dudes around. But
makes sense.
Another nerdy note, the little sister, the little blonde girl, she was in another one of my favorite movies from the late 80s, early 90s, the Christy Swanson version of Flowers in the Attic. She was the one of the twins.
Freaky.
Oh God, I love that movie. It's so terrible and so wonderful.
Lee, the faceless bounty hunter, he sees a standee of
Freddy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's their tie into their movie franchise.
Yeah.
Such a wasted moment.
Well, no, I think it's great. I mean, if he became Freddy, then the movie would be totally different. You know, it'd have to be about Freddy then.
Yeah.
But even just a little bit of Freddy transformation. I mean,
you want to see just like
just want to see
knives.
a little bit. I want to see knives, or like, Robert Englund having like a little, voiceover that says, "Kill Crates," and then goes back to being the sexy playmate. You're so hyped for it, and it was New Line. They could have made it happen.
But think about what Robert Englund would cost.
Yeah, true.
I know, but maybe
not a Robert Englund budget. Maybe.
No,
they
spent it all on critters.
Yeah,
spent it all on critters and hamburger patties.
Melissa got Lynn Shaky for free because it was like a nepotistic role. Because she was the younger sister of the founder. She was in every movie.
I love the thing is she's good though. It's not like someone that they just stick in who is not a good actor. She is amazing in Something About Mary. She is Magda, the next door neighbor with the boobs and the tan. She's something special.
She studied with Uta Hagen and Stella Adler.
Really?
Yeah, for reals. And character actors are actors.
That's true.
Studied with the best.
They're actors too.
They're actors.
People just like us.
Yeah. So, Jan, you were saying that the town ends up being sequestered to this church, and they're like, oh, we're going to be safe in this church. And they're trying to protect the kids. But Brad comes up with this plan. And Brad, and what's her name? The love interest?
Megan, I think. No, like she's
Megan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard they cast her. She got the role because she was the only actress who could drive a stick shift.
No.
The hell?
Yeah, that's true.
That's all I drove at that time. And
they were very common back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, this other actress in the trivia, this other actress, Cheryl Polak, almost got the role of Megan, but she couldn't drive a stick. So a lot of one big thing is you have to be able to drive a stick to be in this movie. If you can't,
you'd think you could learn how. I mean, like, people learn how to play, piano for roles, at least one song or something, sometimes just so that they can look like they're playing while somebody else is playing over them or whatever.
I think it was one of those things where they thought, spend the time to learn how to drive stick or realize that you're in a Critters movie. They're like,
she's fine. She's fine. She's actually a bit older than Brad, like a lot older than Brad. So some of those sexy, we're about to kiss scenes are a little weird.
Yeah. So we're in the church and a few things have happened. So we get to the church, but in the process, Lee has sacrificed himself and he's gone. There is no more Lee. So we have no more Playmate and Ugg is very upset about this. And the critters are coming and everyone is scared. This is a little bit like, it's like The Mist, but with critters.
Yeah. That's right. They're going to be swallowed up. But they have this plan where they're going to go to the burger factory, because obviously, they love burgers. So let's get them all into the burger factory, and then you can just blow it up, and problem solved, right?
From space, blow it up from space. It's the only way that you can shirk.
Yeah, nuke it from orbit. Do we learn anything from aliens?
Well, it doesn't kill all of them. In fact, something big happens.
Something big. So this is where we get this Critter Ball. I think this is the start of Critter Ball. This Critter Ball before, yes.
Yeah,
so,
this is where it comes from.
Yeah. So there is a wonderful moment though where the little sister is riding a tricycle around the backyard of the church, being chased by a critter. And it is just a moment, and Scott Grimes is there and he saves her from the critter, but then they are surrounded by critters and it brings on the return of our magnificent sheriff. The sheriff comes back and he's just blasting critters. Ugg is just despondent because he has lost Lee and they need a plan. That's sweet. So they go in the church and they decide we're going to sequester all of the critters into the hamburger factory slaughterhouse place, because the critters are eating the cows. They're just like snacking on cows like they're Doritos. And so why not get them all together? And we're going to get them all together and we're going to blow them up. I think it's a good plan.
It's a good plan.
It's a great plan.
Yeah.
So they round up the critters and they are all just they're rolling, and this is where we really see how they're organized, and just the organization of the critters, and they can smell the burgers and the ketchup and the frozen cut fries.
That's right. There's like fries in there too.
I'm like, can they smell those? I'm not sure.
Made me hungry.
Yeah,
seriously. So they're rolling, and there's this brilliant moment where they're rolling to the slaughterhouse, and they have this conversation, and it's like, well, why are we going there? We have cows. And you see this critter, and he's like, no bones. They all decide.
Smart.
No.
Yeah, that we know they're sentient now. We know that they actually can make decisions and think about things.
No bones.
So they are rolling along to go and get their hamburgers, and then there's a hamburger feast. And we see they're just having a hamburger orgy, and it's time to blow them up. And we see one critter who is bigger than all of the other critters.
Always one big critter.
And there's always one, and we learn it is Ugg. Spoiler alert. It's Ugg.
Wow. Wait, he becomes yes, that's right. That's right. I almost forgot that part. Okay.
It's very important. So it's Ugg, and they trap the critters into the slaughterhouse and they blow it up. Boom! And there's a big explosion and a near awkward kiss. And then we hear a rumbling. We hear a rumbling, and then we get it. It is the critter ball in the full critter ball glory. We even get critter ball cam.
Oh, yeah.
What it looks like if you're in the critter ball. And I have to so this is how much critter ball delights me. When critter ball comes on the screen, my fiance and I just sit there and we're like, critter ball. Like I hashtag, like I send things out with the critter ball hashtag. I'm very invested in this critter ball. And
you did an embroidery of critter ball.
I did. No, it was a critter embroidery.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
If I could find a pattern for a critter ball, I might do it. But yes, you guys, I took the time earlier this year to cross stitch an entire critters. And I'm sure maybe we can link it out in the podcast. And
for sure.
It just, you guys, my critters collection is getting out of hand. I have 2 t-shirts. I have a critters print I found at a store in Burbank in their poster section from like 1987. It's bizarre.
Wow.
I know, right? I have a critter hair flower, and it's like a big pink flower, and if you look in the center, it's a critter. And so yeah. And I'm actually I'm debating for the wedding whenever we decide to like see if I can get a custom bouquet of like critter flowers instead.
That's awesome. and then at the reception we can all do the chud.
Yes, I know. And it's the struggle is real. I love critters. Actually, I should say, so I just started a new job and I haven't announced it yet, but I was interviewing, and one of the things that I managed to talk about critters in 2 of my interviews, and I think
that's awesome.
I think I got the job that I did because I actually out-nerded them on horror movies. One person had a Fangoria t-shirt on. Ooh. And we were talking about the Critters movies and the Critters sequels because there are 4. Mm-hmm. And there's a surprising amount of really amazing talent in Critters 3 and 4. Mm. And yeah, they did not know that. So
yeah, Critters 4 has that noble Blacktress Angela Bassett in it.
It does. And Critters 3 has Leonardo DiCaprio.
Shit.
What?
Yes, Leonardo. It's his first film, actually, I believe.
Wow. The Critters legacy.
4 has Brad Dourif as well.
Yeah, you can't. Brad, you're right. It does, because it takes place on a space station. Not that means anything, but it's just funny that it's on a space station.
I will save you guys the trouble of Critters. Critters 3 is fine. It does not even compare to Critters 1 and 2. Yeah. Critters 4 is a Critters abomination because it takes a solid 45 minutes for the first critter to show up. It is basically an Aliens ripoff with Critters, where the critters don't show up until the first 45 minutes. And I was livid. I'm like, I need the Critters manager. I need to write a strongly worded letter about my disappointment of this.
Class action lawsuit.
Yeah, yep. Where were the Critters people?
You're a promised
Critters.
You're a Critters Karen.
I'm a Critters Karen.
The C, not K.
Yeah, exactly. See your manager.
You see your critter balls.
So that amazing critter ball was like a 10-foot tall geodesic dome. I mean, I can't even imagine having to work with a 10-foot critter ball.
I'm just amazed that, number one, they did it, and number two, and this is quite, honestly, the thing is like they're like had the budget for it, and the fact that someone actually wrote that in a script. Can you imagine that stage direction? that direction. It's like, there's a rumbling, and then a giant critter ball comes rolling out.
Yeah, and the Chiodo brothers have to figure out what that means.
Like shaking their head, like, damn, critter ball.
And that the ball is like covered with little faces that are all like animatronically moving too.
Yep. It's awesome.
Quite complex.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So great. And I do believe if you look in certain shots of the scene where it's rolling down Main Street, you can see someone behind it pushing it.
Pushing it, yes. Yeah, there's some legs.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I missed that. Okay. Not surprised, but.
Gotta go back now.
Yeah, just go with it.
It's a fun movie for a rewatch. That's the thing about it, is like it never overstays its welcome. It moves pretty fast.
Definitely one of the best one we've ever seen.
Okay. Speakeasily bingo. There you go.
And there's no space herpes in it, but I'll take it.
I'm wearing my space herpes t-shirt right now that you can get in our store.
Plug.
Speakeasily.tv and find our merch. It says I have space herpes. I feel like everyone should have.
I wear my Nilbog one on the regular. I love my Nilbog tank top. I heartily support all things Nilbog and space herpes related.
We salute you.
Yes. Check out Speakeasily's merch. So one thing we got to mention is that Charlie, good old Charlie, the town drunk turned bounty hunter, he does like a kamikaze thing to save everyone.
Yep.
He has his moment.
Yeah, he has his moment. He flies the spaceship like directly into the pile of critters.
And then that damn movie, Independence Day's got to go and rip it off for their ending scene. Oh, God, I was so annoyed. I was like, didn't we see this already done a million times better? Yes, we did. I was so annoyed by that.
And then this is really touching. Ugg is so affected by Charlie's bravery, like, doing a kamikaze move, that he takes on Charlie's face in honor of his, bravery. So
his fallen comrade.
Yes, it's heart-wrenching.
I cried a little.
And then we find out that like Charlie's still alive.
I know. I was like, what?
He had a parachute.
Like, what?
That's how all spaceships are made. I can tell you that because I'm a Klingon.
Yeah, there's an escape hatch, right?
With a parachute. It's for space. For space travel. There's a parachute.
Can you imagine? So what's kind of cool is that Charlie just stays on Earth and like doesn't go back with Ugg. He doesn't go on back to outer space. He decides to stay and he becomes the town sheriff.
Awesome.
But not an elected. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I feel like if someone just throws you a badge, it doesn't really make you a sheriff. I feel like the people should have a say in that, considering you are just in general. I feel like that's not really democracy in action.
It's an Old West thing.
Yeah,
They would just take badges from each other, like, I'm the sheriff now. But yeah, they should probably have a vote.
I don't think this town is going to worry about that much, or anyone's going to come and like sequester them from a big city.
So is the third one the next one? Does it come back to this town?
It does not. So Critters 3 is the critters end up in an apartment building. Leonardo DiCaprio.
I still can't believe that.
It's very young. It's more of a kids movie. There are no boobies in it. There's no playmates with staples. It's very disappointing.
Lame.
I mean, it's okay, but when you're coming down off of Critters 1 and 2, Critters 3 is like, meh, they tried. Critters 4, when movies go to space, it just kind of something happens. But now critters are an endangered species. Critters 3 and Critters 4 are directly tied in. I believe they were shot at the same time. And so you get the ending of Critters 3 moves directly into Critters 4. And now the critters are an endangered species and must be saved. Yes, because they have hunted the critters to the point of critter extinction.
Isn't that what they want?
I would assume so, considering that if they all, form a ball and roll over you, they're going to leave you as a quivering skeleton. You would think that, but it is not the case. So, so Critters 4 is basically aliens and and no one. Charlie is back. Charlie ends up in both of them.
No.
Yeah, it's such a disappointment because I'm like, where are my critters? I don't see them. But you have Angela Bassett, you have Brad Dourif, but when movies go to space, it's just like, we can talk about Hellraiser in space, Leprechaun in space, Jason X.
Yep.
When you go to space,
that's the sad thing about it. It's either space or the hood, and I'd rather go to the hood.
A Leprechaun in the Hood is a classic.
That's what I mean. It's
case.
like that's what I want. I want a hood. I want hood level, awesomeness.
Yeah.
But space is jumping the shark. That's when you know it.
Yeah.
Franchise is over.
I feel like Critters in the Hood. I would 1,000,000% watch that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I would love it.
Oh my God. That thing writes itself.
It really does.
Well, there is like a Critters TV show or web show that I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it was Critters a new binge.
So so it's like a new TV show? Because it's was it done back then?
No, a couple of years ago, but newer from just a couple of years ago. Do you know anything about this, Jan?
So I am aware of them. I have not watched them. I know one is written by someone who is a comic writer who doesn't have the best reputation. I will put it that way. Back to our comics conversation.
Yes.
They are known for being a predator.
A poopy predator. Sad.
So but I haven't seen either one of them. The one written by the creepy guy looks good, looks better actually. And I do believe they introduced a female critter a la Greta Gremlin.
Awesome.
So I am intrigued. It's not that I'm not intrigued. I'm just like,
yeah.
But yeah.
So Odessa and I were talking about this, and we all need to get on this critter comic book. So we need to find out who owns the rights, and we need to write a critter comic book.
Has it been done yet?
I don't think there's been any critter comic books. It's New Line, which where did New Line end up? Let's see. New Line Cinema. I think New Line is Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers, I think that would be really hard to license out. I've heard they're not super great. It's why we don't see like Freddy comics or something else.
Oh.
Yeah, I have some friends who run like a licensed merch business, and they cannot get like Warner's to work with them. So
that's terrible.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be really hard unless, we decide to like fanfic it out. I don't know. Maybe we could work with the Chiodos brothers or, do a online petition to get Mick Garris back in the Critters chair.
I thought if it's fan flick or fan done, though, it has to be pornographic.
It just often is.
Okay, so hear me out. So what if we did, what is the big adult industry award show?
I don't know.
Oh God, what is that?
AV.
Yeah.
Adult video. ADA, right?
Yeah. So what if we did like Critters have invaded the AVA, and you get, Ugg and Lee, but all they can like shapeshift in is to adult film stars with hilarious results and killing critters and goo. And yeah, I think this writes
Imagine
itself.
killing them with dildo statues.
Wow.
One of the sound guys creates on the fly, because he's like MacGyver, and he creates like a dildo cannon. Those cannons on it.
A dildo cannon. That's genius.
This writes itself, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Really does.
Wow. Well, we've covered a lot of ground here.
Thank you so much, folks, for taking the time and letting me take you on this critters journey. It's
always for you. Always.
Oh, always. Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Anytime.
Yes.
I shout my love of critters from the rooftop, and I'm always just like, more people need to see critters too. I really feel like, it's become like kind of a happy place movie of like, if I just want to turn off my brain and smile, I just throw on Critters 2. It might have replaced The Shining for me, which, I know that says a lot about me. But
so since you're awesome.
Yeah, no, but Critters 2, I mean, I think we need more Critters merch. I think we need more Critters content. I think we need Critters at the AVNs. I believe we should make this happen.
This is why you're a professional, Jann.
Yes.
Oh my God. They're going to be like, what is wrong with this woman?
Like, hire her, stats. We love her.
Your critters fetish is okay with us.
Yes.
Totally.
Thank you so much for coming back. And come back anytime.
I have ideas.
Oh, thank God.
No, this is like my once a year trip back I get to spend with you guys, and I love it.
Yay.
We love it too.
So,
Continue to do it, please.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We need you to subscribe because it makes us a little more visible, and we love exposing ourselves. Isn't that right?
To you.
To you.
Yes.
Yes.
We love exposing ourselves at you.
Look at my junk. Look at my critters ball. Yeah. Thank you for being an audience. Good night.
Hey, little buddies, come gather round. This here's the very best eating in town. A Hungry Heifer's the place to be. A lip licking good, you can take it from me. Try a bowl of burgers, some buffalo chips. Or wash it all down with a moose shake. You pat your tummy and smack your lips. Suck for hours on your fingertips. At the Hungry Heifer, we won't give you a bum steer.